From having over 150,000 concurrent players in July 2022 to roughly 400 in June 2023 before closing the open beta, MultiVersus came out as Warner Bros.' attempt at copying the success of other multiplayer crossover fighting games like Brawlhalla or Nintendo Super Smash Bros. And when you look at the number of franchises Warner has under its belt, you'll be genuinely beside there speechless, wondering how the heck did they fall off in the first 4 months and if they can make a comeback next month when the game fully releases. Or, as most people will probably guess, and I won't blame them for it, you'll see again a spike in players and then falling off in the abyss. In order to take a look at all the factors regarding its uprise and downfall, we first have to talk about its background. It was first announced officially in November 2021, presenting the audience with the same returning formula of fighting games that was established for decades, but with new characters. The game was first leaked in 2019, when it apparently began developing, and alongside the years, we found out through a leak that allegedly it was because Warner thought they could cash in on the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme by making a character of him in a game, and how Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was released in late 2018 and was a huge success. It made complete sense why they should go with this type of format, also given their huge cast of possible characters. In October 2021, a month prior to its official announcement, there was a post made on the r/gaming leaks and rumors subreddit, giving a ton of info regarding the game and characters, including the likes of Gandalf, Fred Flintstone, Mad Max, Harry Potter, Ron Weasley and Johnny Bravo as part of the roster, all 6 of which didn't make the open beta. 1 week later, a photo of the open beta roster was released, but it was almost immediately taken down by Warner Bros. It showed almost the whole roster for the release, only 2 of which, Gandalf and Rick Sanchez, got swapped out for Garnet and Arya Stark, with Velma and the Iron Giant also being added to the mix. It built up hype for the next couple of months, and on July 19th, it was officially released for people to play for free. Not even 2 weeks after they opened the gates, people data mined a ton, and I mean a ton of characters. Ben 10 would be elite, probably the character they need to add the most, but the funniest personality in here is Ted Lasso. I would do anything to see this man in MultiVersus. My eyes came out like Hubba Hubba 1900s cartoon character when I saw him. I would do anything to have this man in the game. It was well received by critics and audiences alike at first. IGN said that MultiVersus may not be a must-play at social gatherings, but its refreshing team-based battles make it a great platform fighter online, also topping the American sell charts for that month. The launch on Steam was the most successful for any Warner Bros. Game ever, having hit 10 million players by August and double that by September, but then it all plunked down. How does one achieve this generational level of falling off? Well, first of all, only 7 characters in the first 4 months or so, and then nothing. They added LeBron a week after release, which is really cool, a very nice and unexpected choice, give them props to that. But then they took almost a whole month to add another character, which was Morty. Another great choice, but personally I would have went with Rick first, since he's the bigger name, instead of waiting till September to add him to the roster as well. The game was already falling off because they only released 2 characters during July and August, when they should have had like 10 ready. Release 1 every week, because when you're on top, everything is working great, but you have to put in more work, or have that work already prepared before, or you'll fall off. But okay, they brought LeBron and Morty, good choices at least. But why the fuck did they bring Gizmo and Stripe from the Gremlins, Black Adam and Marvin the Martian to save the game, when you have icons like Scooby-Doo, Joker and Ben 10 collecting dust in the back room? It's like having your grandma in goal with Manuel Neuer sat there on the bench. She ain't saving shit. I stopped playing in September as well, because there were very few and small updates. They promised different game modes, I think, or ranked something. I know there was something, a shop and other stuff, and they didn't deliver. In October, it felt as if they gave up as well. I wasn't seeing anything anymore. I would have booted it up again if I had seen a character, which I would have actually been excited for. But Black Adam and Stripe are the type of characters that are on the lower half of the barrel, and when you have as many possibilities as Warner Bros. And you bring those out, it feels as if you're putting out characters just to put out characters. Let's make a bit of a comparison with Dead by Daylight. I know it's not the same genre, but I know a lot about that game, and I think I have some interesting points to yap about. Dead by Daylight dominates the asymmetrical survival horror market. Others came along like the Evil Dead game or VHS or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which still holds pretty okay-ish, but none came close because DBD is an established giant. You cannot just take it down like this. But how did they get to that point? Creativity and consistency. DBD is a hot mess to this day regarding some killers and perks, but since the beginning, it constantly put out updates. About 2 months after release, they put out a new killer, the Nurse, which to this day is the best killer in the game. Very annoying at times, but it's interesting, complex and fun. They already had 3 killers and I think 5 survivors with a respectable number of perks, and it felt less repetitive than a cross-fighting game that takes a couple of minutes per match. The fact that DBD upon release was way more complex and had a smaller crew behind it. They didn't have the Warner Bros. Giants and some of the biggest IPs in the world at their disposal, and it was also a horror game, which is less requested by the general audience, but they worked their ass off. Released the aforementioned Nurse during the time MultiVersus took to release just 2 fighters, and then in October, DBD struck a deal with Compass International Pictures to release one of the biggest icons in horror, Michael Myers, with his 3 unique perks, and Laurie Strode with her 3 unique perks and a brand new map that actually functioned like a different map and not just a background GIF with different platforms. During that time, MultiVersus pulled out Rick Sanchez, Gizmo, Stripe, Black Adam, and Marvin the Martian. Do you see the point I'm trying to make? You can make it in a difficult market, it just takes hard work, creativity and dedication. They just had to be creative about the powers, because about the character itself, they could just go in the back room and pull out Scooby-Doo, the most famous cartoon dog in history. The problems weren't only with the content put out, but with the community as well. A ton of people were upset because of the constant teabagging. And to that, I say to you, do not install Dead by Daylight ever. It's not that deep, it goes away quickly, they beat you and teabag for like 1 or 2 seconds before the screen comes on top, and on some characters, it generally looks rather funny. The other problem was that people were upset with the presence of in-game currencies like battle passes, which unlike the Fortnite one, didn't give you back currency to buy the next one. The game was still in beta and got taken away from them after not even a year, half of which had no new characters added to them, and at the very start of the game, there were some really expensive packs. People are more upset over those than the battle passes, I presume. Fortunately for everyone, the best part about the game is that it's free. You have to give credit where it's due. I was not expecting Warner Bros to make the game free. Super Smash Bros cost money, the Nickelodeon one that went to shit costed money. Brawlhalla didn't, and they probably took a look at it as well, since it had a ton of positive reviews on Steam. Now we've reached the most important question. Of course, I think in as shitty of a position you could be, you would still be able to turn things around, especially with the perks these guys have. A game-changing character arsenal, the fact that people are excited to see the new characters and the whole game to come back, and the fact that they had that early access period where they learned a lot of stuff, or at least I hope. So otherwise why even have it? One thing I don't get is why they are so slow with promoting new content. The game's official release date, 20th of May, was announced last month. In less than 2 weeks it'll be May, and the only thing we got in terms of teasers for new content was the addition of a parry mechanic. That's it. I understand you maybe didn't want to advertise in March, since we already did a big announcement that month, but it's fucking April, what are you doing? You have to build this shit up. What you're going to do? Build it up with 3 weeks before release? That wouldn't work. You need time. You need to get people engaged with small breadcrumbs here and there during these 2 months, not throwing the whole loaf at the last minute. But with my luck, they'll probably release a teaser for a new character whilst I'm editing this video and make me look like Nobed. I really hope they know what they're doing, because I'm really stoked about the game coming back. I loved playing it and I don't want to end up in a scenario where I find lobbies with the same 10 people over and over again, and the latest characters added are fucking Boo Boo, Arnold the Pitbull, and Arthur Weasley. I want to see Scooby-Doo, Harry Potter, the Ice King, Voldemort, and the fucking goats, Sheldon Cooper and Dr. Sturgis. Those would unironically go so hard. We already have Tom and Jerry, and it would be amazing to have the other goat duo as well. Hashtag Young Sheldon for MultiVersus.